The blocky sun of Minecraft cast long shadows across the ruined cityscape. Jagged, obsidian-like structures pierced the sky, a testament to the cataclysm that had befallen this digital world. I, Alex, wasn't just playing Minecraft anymore. This was a desperate fight for survival in a modded hellscape. This wasn't about building pixelated castles, it was about not becoming another statistic in this horrifying zombie apocalypse. The mod had ripped this world apart, stitching together nightmares from different game dimensions into a single, terrifying tapestry of infected. 3 breeds of undead now roamed the land, the radiation-scarred, the fungus-ridden, and the virus-fueled hordes. I had learned the hard way that mindless hacking wouldn't cut it, each required a specific and often complex approach. I'd started in a relatively clear patch of an abandoned town, a few dilapidated houses offering meager shelter. My first nights were filled with the groans and clicks of the infected. The radiation zombies, thankfully, were the easiest to dispatch, shambling, slow-moving civilians who posed little threat beyond numbers, though the pukers forced me to fight at a distance. The security guards and prisoners, though armed with rusty tools, weren't much tougher. But even they couldn't be ignored for long. The real terror came from the fungus mutants. The runners, with their inhuman speed, were a constant threat, especially in open areas. I learned to listen for the telltale clicks of the clickers, blind but incredibly adept at hunting with echolocation. One wrong move near a fungus-infested building, and their clicks turned into a deadly pursuit. Then the stalkers. They were like ghosts appearing from behind corners to ambush you. The shamblers, like living, spore-spewing mines, forced me to keep my distance, while the bloaters were walking time bombs, ready to explode in a cloud of fungal spores, if attacked head-on. I hadn't encountered a rat king yet, and honestly, I wasn't too eager to. The virus-infected were the most numerous, the common infected making up the bulk of the hordes, but they were relatively simple to deal with, though I learned to run when I heard the boomers wheezing, their explosive bile drawing a swarm to anyone unfortunate enough to be caught in the blast. The hunters, fast and agile, were a nuisance, but the smokers were the true game changers with their long, disgusting tongues. The tanks were behemoths, capable of turning players into ragdolls, while the chargers were just as terrifying. I once saw one slam into a group of zombies, turning them into red mist. Jockeys were parasitic things, and I had to learn how to shake them off fast. Spitters forced me to dance out of the way of their acid and the witches. Best to just avoid them completely. My first major goal was establishing a base. I chose a 2-story, brick building in the abandoned town, clearing it of the common infected and barricading the windows with wooden planks. I reinforced the door with iron bars salvaged from a nearby ruined structure. I found a crafting table and a workbench, which was essential for crafting the guns, reinforcement for my armor, and the cure. The guns gave me a fighting chance against the stronger infected, while the armor, especially when coupled with the radiation suit I found in a military camp west of my location, offered some protection against the radioactive zombies and spore clouds. The military camp was a treasure trove of weapons, ammo, canned goods, and blueprints for the cure. There was a note that spoke of a nuclear reactor far to the east, which made me really nervous. food was the next priority. Initially, I relied on canned goods, but I knew that wasn't sustainable. I set up a small farm in my base's backyard, planting wheat and carrots. My most important find was a small herd of sheep near the foot of the dam, a few miles east. They were uninfected and I managed to lure them back to my base. I now had a sustainable source of wool and meat. Water was another hurdle. The town's well was contaminated, so I ventured out to the dam, a dangerous journey filled with bloaters and hunters. I managed to siphon clean water using a hand pump and stored it in barrels. I installed a rain catcher for a backup. I started experimenting with the workbench, using the blueprints I found. I was able to craft a short-term cure, a concoction that held back the progression of the virus and fungus, buying me precious time. I had to find the ingredients for the full cure, which the blueprints indicated were scattered across the map. My most recent venture brought me to the edge of a fungus-infested area. The air hung thick with spores, and the constant clicking of clickers echoed through the ruined buildings. I moved slowly, using a bile bomb to draw the attention of a nearby group of common infects away from my path. I found ingredients for the full cure in a hidden laboratory within the fungi-infected building, a dangerous but necessary risk. The laboratory indicated the locations of the other required items, in a nuclear reactor to the east. I'm now planning the trip and making sure my radiation suit is well reinforced. Days turned into weeks. Each sunrise brought new challenges, new threats. But I wasn't just surviving, I was adapting, learning. I was becoming a part of this strange, hostile world, a survivor in a digital apocalypse. I knew the road ahead was long and fraught with peril. I would need every ounce of skill, every crafted item, every desperate move to make it through another night. I was more than a player now. I was a survivor, and I would keep fighting, building and adapting because this was now my world, and I would not let the zombies win.